Hi everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome to the Rancho de Rosie and Jen here in Santa Rosa, California. And I had an interesting email, private message for me this week, and somebody, George down in Texas said, do you ever metal detect the Rancho? You're always talking about going all these cool historical places, but I do believe, Rosie, you and Jen have a half acre there in Santa Rosa in a pretty urban area, and it's true. So it got me to thinking, no, we hadn't really metal detected. I was so busy the first few years just making this place livable with all the renovations that I didn't have a lot of time to metal detect. And it's only in the last 2 months or so that I've gotten back into the swing of it. So when George suggested that I hunt the Rancho, well, we started to take it a little more seriously. Jen went out a couple times and got a few pennies. About a week ago, I went out just a little bit on the backyard, not on the back 40, and I picked up a 1944D wheat penny. But we really ramped up the game because with the rain, of course, signals when you're metal detecting, signals carry much better through moisture than they do through real dry soil. And of course, we've had this terrible drought. And with the rains, of course, you have to work in the mud and everything. But the upside is that it's a lot more stuff is showing up on the detector. So I thought I would bring you in. I have some things set up on the table, but the reason I called today's upload was big silver and a bit of Australia. Well, you'll see as we go further on in the video here. It was an amazing day, not only because of what I found here this afternoon in a couple hours of detecting after work, but also the amazing coincidence of the video I was watching on YouTube today and the subsequent finding of certain coins here this afternoon. Let's just say I've been metal detecting a lot of years, and in my own backyard provided one of the most exciting days of metal detecting I ever had. So without any further ado, I'll bring you in here and we'll show you some of the things that we got before, and then we'll concentrate on the interesting stuff that came through today. All right, give me 1 second. We'll get the camera repositioned and get rolling. All right, you might think we started a used car lot out here with some of the little models that we found, but back by our apple tree, it's like everything under the sun was buried back there, and that was everything. I think this was a cool Hudson back there, 1950s, and of course these are probably 1990s models. They're nothing special, but they're special just insofar as there were so many out there. There's Brenda's Dodge Challenger, her 73. That's pretty cool. We have, I don't know, this looks like a Datsun Z, maybe a cool looking alligator car. And we got our obligatory BMW Aim High, kids. And then we have, well, I don't know what the heck, this looks like a Mustang over here. And then of course these, either a Nash or a Hudson or something like that, but they're kind of cool and they were neat. Now these were found over the course of the last week. Out yesterday I did some detecting. I found 3 or 4 clad quarters, a clad dime, and a few pennies. Most of the stuff dated from the 1960s, but also found this dinosaur, and this is cast metal. And the thing came up in pretty good shape, a Brontosaurus. I thought that was pretty cool. And strangely, this is the second ball, the second iron ball that Jen and I have dug up. And this one looked like it had a thing where you could attach a weight on it. So either it was a very kind of a painful game where you tie a string on this and try to throw at each other. You like have your legs chained together so you can't get more than 5 feet away. And the person that survives wins the game, of course. Like I would call it like the Viking games or something like that. It's playing for keeps. But I don't think it's that. But when we were up in Rio Nido, up at the old resort on the Russian River, we found one, but I think that was part of a bocce ball set. So anyway, these are the finds. I didn't put the clad on there, but I want to sort of wrap it up and get to the stuff that we found out there today. And honestly, I didn't do the live dig on this stuff because I never imagined in a million years that I would be pulling out of the ground today what you're about to see. Now, as I mentioned before, when I went outside today, I could have no idea what I was going to find. And it started out kind of slow with the usual odd pieces of metal, because the guy that owned this property or bought this place originally after it was built in 1956 had a automobile repair shop in the back there using the outbuilding, what is now the Shine Shack, the Moonshine Shack on the property. So it's not unusual for me to find cars. As a matter of fact, when I first moved here on the property, there were two Studebakers buried side by side back by the redwood tree that I had extricated. They were totally rotten, unrestorable, and carted off. So when this guy was done with the his and hers Studebakers, he just took a backhoe and just dug a spot there and just buried the things. But the metal was starting to poke up out of the ground and stuff, and I just had them removed. How's that for a metal detecting find? I didn't even have the detector. But today I found the usual more parts of looks like automobiles, and then we stepped up our game a little bit. You see a toy motorcycle here, and this was a pretty good one, a rally sport dirt bike, and it was kind of amazing that it came up in pretty good shape, but it's mostly made out of plastic with just a little touch of metal on it. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. And then, surprise, surprise, I'm digging in there, and lo and behold, there's a pair of sunglasses, well, half a pair anyway, and it's amazing that the few times that we've swung the coil around that they didn't pick up on these sunglasses. And then we also found today a couple keys, and the nice thing is that the older keys are brass, so they hold up real well in the soil. I have no idea what these keys and stuff are too. We'll go ahead and just test them out on a couple doors and stuff. But when you're metal detecting, you guys know you always find a ton of keys around schoolyards, parks, and places like that. So, all right, having built you up to the main event, it's time to end the suspense. I'll bring you on down to table side here, and we'll step it up here and show you the rest of the amazing finds today. All right, guys, one funny thing today, just before we get to that, and don't hate me, but I just got to tell you about this amazing coincidence. This afternoon on YouTube, before I left work, I was watching a Aussie hunter down there, NQE, I guess that's, I don't know, Queensland, Australia down there, North Queensland or something like that. I'm not real familiar with Australia, but evidently he's down in where they grow sugar cane, you get a lot of rain. But he was doing a dig here called the metal detecting 1920s illegal casino down there. And I was particularly interested in the AT Pro because I'm thinking about buying it. And then watch this video of what he dug out of the ground coming up.
We'll get a year off it. Well, there's that penny. I'm pretty sure it's a kangaroo. It's
got he dug out something called a kangaroo penny here. All right, you see that? Pretty amazing. A very nice find. And this guy's a hell of a nice bloke. He's a good chap. So I'm out there today, and I started out, and I got the usual kind of stuff here. Just pull this in. I got the clads here. I got, you know, the signals were coming up nice. I got two of the clads there, the quarters, 3/4. I got a dime, and then I got a lot of pennies. All of these were in the 1960s, which I thought was pretty cool. And the next thing I know, up pops Big Silver today. Yes, a 1964 Kennedy half, 90% silver. Now the funny thing is, I swore up and down to Jen, I said it's not possible on a property that was built in 1956 that you're not going to find one silver coin on a half acre. And I think after a week or so of looking, she started to get a little skeptical. But there's the proof. A 1964 90% silver half dollar, and of course that was the last year, 64, that they put the silver in the half dollars, except for limited commemorative issues. And I thought, well, this is awesome, right? But things were about to get awesomer. Okay, I mean it was about to get better and better. Next thing I know, I get a mid-40s tone on here, and what comes up, amazingly enough, a Australian kangaroo penny. Now look at the back of that. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm not a big advocate of cleaning coins, but clearly you can see the kangaroo on there. And the date happens to be, it looks like a, let me just double check that, like a 1950, just pull it out of the, looks like a 1955. Now how amazing is that I'm just watching that bloke's video, yeah, 1955. I'm watching his video today, and then this afternoon on the Rancho, out pops this beautiful 1955 Aussie penny here. And let me tell you, these things are big and weighty. So that was pretty cool. And as if that wasn't enough, about 2 inches away, I get another signal again. And here's the, I guess it's George the 6th. I don't know. And I go to look at, it's another doggone Aussie penny. This time it's a 1952 kangaroo. And I'll tell you guys, I was utterly and completely blown away to not have one, but to have two Australian pennies out here on the Rancho.
I'm not a believer in a lot of heebie-jeebie, you know, hocus pocus sort of, you know, pre-knowledge, or, you know, I'm not a swami to be able to see the future, but that was a pretty amazing day today. I wouldn't even be able to calculate the odds of me watching a random video of a guy in Australia, because I don't recognize the things that they're digging in Australia, but the guy is amazing. And then I go ahead and dig two big kangaroo pennies and a big silver. So I think I've subscribed to his channel, New NQE Explorers, down there in Australia, and it's pretty amazing. I know that Bree Brown will get a charge out of this, but I'll tell you, this by far was the most thrilling day I had metal detecting. Now I've gotten gold chains. Okay, it's not the most, you know, remunerative day I've ever had in terms of making money, but it was certainly the most exciting in terms of two totally disconnected things coming together. You gotta love Australia, and you gotta love big silver. Thanks for watching, everyone.